Hello, Governor. This is Rigsy Steve, Noob from the Ville, and we're here to talk about Doctor Who Season 9, Episode 10, Face the Raven. First, I'm going to tell you a little story. You ever had that moment? You ever had that moment, an epiphany, the light went off, and you knew? At this moment, you had to face facts. You had to face who you really are, or maybe what you're really meant to do. When I was in high school, I was hands down, bar none, smartest kid in my school. Now, if you looked at my grades at the time, you couldn't really tell it. Looked at my behavior, couldn't really tell it. I was bored, out of my mind. And I was in deep need of therapy. I had some traumas that I was not dealing with, and hell, continued to not deal with for another 20 plus years. Now, even though I was an athlete, a scholar when I wanted to be, a man of the people, if you will, I still ran those streets. I was in the streets. And one night I was on my way home. Now, I was on the other side of town, a section of town that I didn't have any business being in because I didn't know people like that over on that side of town for real. And the only people I knew on that side of town was some young ladies that I had to visit. Anyway, I was almost back to my side of town. That was the East End, and I was really a West End cat. I was on my way back to the West End, and I was almost at the, neutral zone. I was almost, West End free. And I ran into a group of TNs. Now, we had a little gang from the East End at the time called TN. Now, if you understand the meaning of YN, then you probably know what TN means. True. Anyway, they ran up on me. They knew I ran with them West End cats. And they knew that I'd been on their side. People knew me. I ain't know them. But they knew me. And in that moment, one of them pulled a gun out, put it in my face. Now, there was 3 of them. And usually, I've been taking martial arts since I was about 5, 6 years old. 3 dudes, even if they got squabbles, I got something for that ass. 4, yeah, it's probably too much. 3 was cutting it close. But one, he pulled out a gun. And I was usually strapped, but this day on, karma, I don't know, I wasn't. And of course, this is before the movie, but if y'all seen the movie, it was almost one of those, Ricky! The odd thing is, I didn't move. I wasn't afraid. I walked up on him, put the barrel right in my face. And I just looked at him, that 1,000-yard stare. I don't know if it was that I had so much trauma that I didn't care. I don't want to say that he was bluffing. I didn't believe that he was killing me. This is a TN. He might not have ever shot anybody before, but I definitely wouldn't put it past him. But I gambled with my life that day. And I got lucky, I hit. Just so happened that one of my young partners from the West was coming down the street. And he was known. He was a little bit younger than me, but he was known for letting that thing go. He let that chopper ring. And that day, He let that chopper sing, and he saw me from down the block and saw the situation I was in, and it, yang, yang, yang. I didn't duck. I didn't move. Them little young dudes took off and started running. My little partner ran, and up next to me, he's like, "You all right?" I just kind of stared at him. And he looked back at me and he's like, he just nodded his head and he's like, "All right." And he went on about his business, and I continued to walk the rest of the way to the crib. There comes a moment when you gotta face facts. Who is your true self? Hello, Governor. It's Rigsy here, Newt from the Ville. And we're here to talk about Doctor Who Season 9, Episode 10, Face the Raven. This particular media therapy deep dive I'm going to call The Cost of Peace. Now, if you've been rocking with me for a little bit, you know that I don't want to do a long recap. I'm going to do a short recap. We're going to get into my quotes, my personal thoughts, and then we're out of here. The Doctor and Clara are called by Rigsy. And now, if you remember Rigsy a few episodes back, he was the young guy that was spray painting, and then we had the little aliens that were 2D and taking people. Anyway, Rigsy calls them and tells them he got a tattoo on his neck. And they're like, "Why are you calling us for a tattoo?" But the tattoo was moving. It was a countdown. It was counting down, and Rigsy was running out of time. And he needed them to help him because he had amnesia. He did not remember anything that happened. He don't remember going to get a tattoo, and definitely the tattoo shouldn't be counting down. It turns out that it was a trap street, and this trap street was a refuge for aliens. And what do you know? The mayor of this little trap street, this little pocket universe, is me, who we also know as a shielder, played by Maisie Williams. Rigsy, when he got there, he was treated poorly because they said he was guilty of a crime. He was guilty of murdering someone. And the punishment was that he got this tattoo, and when the tattoo hit 0, a quantum shade was going to kill him. Now, the quantum shade is an alien shapeshifter, and it took the form of a raven, and it would basically fly through him and take his soul, take his life. Now, the thing about this is that Clara, being clever, she figured out me gave Clara her personal guarantee of safety, that nothing would happen to her. So Clara tried to be slick and was like, if she gave me her personal stamp, her personal guarantee, if you transfer the tattoo to me, then she has to take it off because she guaranteed my safety. Problem is when the doctor and Clara proved Rigsy's innocence by talking to a being who apparently saw their mother die. It was a little boy. Come to find out, it wasn't a little boy. It was a special alien that had like 2 faces, one on the back of his head too or something. It was actually a girl, played by Letitia Wright. Yes, that's right. Shuri from the MCU, the new Black Panther. She played the alien. And there seemed to be a special power that only females of that particular alien race had, where they could kind of astral project, see the future. They were psychic or something like that. But once they proved Rigsy's innocence, The problem is because Clara had transferred the tattoo, the deal, whatever with the chronolock that was set up with Rigsy, was null and void. And because Clara chose to alter the deal, because me said that she was just going to take it off of him, no harm, no foul, really, in the end, it wasn't even about Rigsy. It was to lure Clara and the doctor there. Me couldn't do anything. Clara had broke the contract that me had made with the quantum shade, and there was nothing me could do about it. The doctor, you've seen the doctor angry before. He becomes angry. He threatens me. He demands that she saves Clara. And he said, listen, if you think you've seen me upset, Clara tries to calm him down and says she doesn't want him to be upset. She doesn't want him to avenge her death. She has made peace with what is happening. She says her goodbyes. She steps into the street. The raven flies through her. And Clara dies. When they go back in the house, the doctor, you can see the fury. He's seething. He warns me that whatever she does from here on out, she better stay away from him because he might not be able to contain himself. Me activates a ban that she had put on the doctor when he figured out that he was being lured there on purpose and Rigsy was innocent. And it teleports the doctor away. You know that I love my quotes, and I have one, really. One is a short saying. It's not really a quote, but I do have one quote. The one quote is from Queen Latifah. She says, "Be bold. Be brave enough to be your true self. Always be your true self. And surround yourself with positive and supportive people. Sometimes you gotta let everything go and purge yourself." The other little saying is not really a quote, it's not really a saying, but it says, "To shine your brightest light is to be who you truly are." I loved this episode. This episode is immediately in my top 10 of all time Doctor Who episodes. And part of it is seeing the circumstances that the doctor and Clara face at the end, and Clara making peace with it. She had been so clever. And part of that is the side effects of being with the doctor, because the doctor's clever. And once you get to thinking that you are the doctor and you could be just as clever, it came back to bite you in the ass. But the thing is, for all the time that Clara's been around, Clara, I liked her, didn't understand her, couldn't stand her, and now she's redeemed herself. For a long time, she was reckless and seemed like she was an adrenaline junkie. She was rushing to death. Couldn't wait to get there. Because after she lost Danny, she completely changed. Clara said in the episode that if Danny, an ordinary human with his sights of adventure, came around the doctor and Clara, outside the time he spent in the war, if Clara said if he could face death, then I can too. And you know, and to be quite honest, and I think I said this in the reaction video, and if you haven't seen the reaction video with Centella and myself, go into the description where it says episode this analysis is based on. It is a completely different thing when you don't have to really wonder, is there a heaven? And I say that I don't know Clara's religious denomination. It's the assumption that she was some form of Christian. It's just that an assumption. But they had an adventure. The Doctor and Clara had an adventure where they went to Heaven's mainframe or what have you when they met Missy. And she was taking souls. Now, of course, she was repurposing them and putting them in Cybermen. I'm pretty sure that's not on God's bingo card. But the fact that in your mind you saw some version of heaven and you knew that people lived on. And not only you could say that this wasn't heaven, that's not the real heaven, where's God, where's Jesus, whatever. The thing is, at the end of the day, Danny could have been sent back. Whatever is going on in that place, he could have been sent back. But he chose to send back the little boy that he accidentally killed when he was at war. And that little boy who's been dead for years, showed back up on Earth, live. Oh, it's Lazarus. Yay. And went home to his peoples. Now, I can't imagine being his peoples and his dead ass come walking through the door. I might have sent him to the upper room for the second time. Hell no. You know, just walking here. I've been watching Sinners. Did you ask to be come in the house? You just walking in. Like, what are we doing? But the fact that you're not wondering what's going to happen to you if you feel like you've lived a good life and you deserve to go up instead of down. I think a lot more people are going to go down than they think. You know, the people like, you know, what kind of life did you lead? I was, you know, it's pretty good. I mean, you know, it was cool, you know. I mean, I didn't kill nobody. Yeah, that is not a good argument to get you to the upper room. Now, why do I say that you have to look at your true self? And I call this the cost of peace. What is the cost of peace? The story I started at the beginning is when you hit a turning point, a real turning point, and you realize some serious changes have to be made. You have to embrace what you refuse to embrace, what you've been hiding from, what you refuse to deal with. My pastor told a story once about he thought he was going to be a nightclub owner, and he even moved across the country to pursue his dreams to be a nightclub owner. But he had already gotten his call to preach, and he ran from it. And eventually he realized preaching is what he was meant to do. A lot of times we put these things in our head about what we want to do, but if it's not what you meant to do. And I can say without a shadow of doubt that my pastor was meant to preach. And hopefully he will grow old doing that, because that is his purpose. I don't know if your purpose is a purpose for a lifetime or for a season. You know, when you're trying to find your true self, one, do you even like yourself? And that is a real question. You live with you every day. If you are someone else on the outside of you, are you actually even likable? Do you like you? Second question, do you love you? And yes, those are two different things. You may love you, you may can't stand your ass. There's several people, family, I love. They're my family. Can't stand them. Wouldn't piss on them if they was on fire. Nah, that's harsh. I mean, I might sprinkle a little bit, I don't know. Anyway. Do you even know where you want to be in your life? And that's a genuine question. And I don't know, I'm not saying, you know, have you done the journal? Have you done the vision board? I don't know. But I'm saying, do you know where you want to be in life? I'm not talking about materialistic dreams. I need the mansion overlooking the ocean on the hill and, you know, 2 Bugattis and a Maybach Cullinan in the driveway. No, that's bullshit. Do you know where you want to be in your life? Because all these things should tie back to your purpose. It should tie back to your true self. Do you know that it's okay to say no? No is a powerful word. It's okay to say no. To not cost yourself your integrity, your morals, your values, your character. Know your worth. It's okay to say no. I can't stress this enough. Do not compare yourself to other people. Comparison is the thief of joy. How can you be working on your true self? How can you be working on your peace if you're steadily comparing yourself to everybody else? What is for you is for you, and you will get what is for you in just time, as long as you don't give up. Galatians 6:9. That's not the whole scripture, but that is a favorite of mine, if you was wondering. You have to take care of yourself. Make self-care a priority. And to be honest, as I'm going through these, I'm thinking about myself and which of these do I do? And this is probably one that I don't do enough. I don't get enough sleep. I don't eat very well. I don't work out enough. I don't meditate enough. I don't pray enough. Do I do all these things? Yes. Do I do enough? No. I don't read enough. There's a lot of things that I can do to be a better me, and I don't. And it's easy to say, I don't have time. I got all the time in the world. I have the same 168 hours per week that you do. Same 24 hours per day that you do. What I do with it, how I allocate it, I don't do enough. You don't have to be the one to compromise all the time. If you're looking for your true self, sometimes you got to stand 10 toes down. And you got to lead with your chest. Feel it in your gut. Sometimes you don't have to be the one to, and I'm not even saying be an alpha, any of that. Sometimes I'm not just saying when you feel it, if you are trying to be your true self, sometimes you have to, no. Here's my line in the sand and I won't cross it. This is no mas. Last two things. Embrace imperfection. There's no one who is perfect, and you need to embrace it. It's okay. Matter of fact, it's okay to not be okay. It is. If you're on this channel, if you're in this community, we take care of each other. Mental health is important. It's important to me. I wouldn't be before you, and I mean that wholeheartedly, sincerely. I would not be before you without some mental health. And I didn't believe in it for a long time, and I was lost. I was hurting. I was in a dark place. And it cost me some relationships I wish it didn't cost me. But c'est la vie. Last thing I can say to you is to believe in yourself. If you have to wake up every morning and just simply practice, yes, I can, I will. I don't care if you got to turn into old girl from The Help. You is kind, you is smart, you is important. Say what you need to say to yourself. For yourself to start believing yourself. You were made wonderfully, and you are special. And hopefully someone else close to you, maybe not, will tell you just how special you are. But even if they don't, the day should start and end with you telling you how special you are. These things are the cost of your peace. This is Rick Steve, new from the Ville. Make sure that you like this, share this, leave me some comments. Have you found your true self? Do you know what's the cost of your peace? And if for some reason, listen, I get it. You on YouTube, you just clicking through stuff. If you have not subscribed, I'm not gonna hold you. But click the button, subscribe immediately. There's a lot of good stuff in here that you can watch, and maybe some of it will resonate with you. Everything I watch, it's about this, but even more importantly, it's about this.